What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Gaelic Gridiron podcast, the premier American football podcast in Ireland. And from the hills of Armagh to the grasslands of Alabama, joining me now is the latest addition to the Trojans football program, Mr. Paddy McAteer. Paddy, welcome. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, Jimmy. Thanks for having me on. Yeah, it was good to get the win yesterday, so I'm in good form this morning now over here for definite.
I'd say you are, Paddy. Your
Yeah,
first career win as a member of the Trojans football program against the was it Alabama, Florida A&M? In fact, was
Florida, yeah,
the opponent. Yeah, tell me about that. It must be a great feeling, victory Sunday.
yeah, it definitely was. So it's good to get the victory in front of the home crowd as well yesterday in the Veteran Memorial Stadium, which is our home stadium, and yeah, the fans brought the atmosphere. It was awesome, and just to get the win for them, it was definitely a good atmosphere, and hopefully there's many more to come coming up now in the
Hopefully,
couple of
hopefully,
weeks.
indeed, Paddy. And it was a bit of a tough start to the season. I think you were 0-3
Yeah.
before this, so kind of there must be a good mood or a good atmosphere now around the team to get the first win of the season in the bag.
Yeah, definitely. We understand though that it's only the start. We have a lot more games to go if we want to do what we've done the last 2 years and retain the Sunbelt Championship. So we know ourselves. It's good to get the win, but new week starts tomorrow. So we enjoyed the celebrations last night, but we're back at it now Monday morning.
Come here, Paddy. You've been in the deep south now of Alabama for a good few weeks now. Have you settled in properly? What's it like there?
Yeah, so it was during the week there. That was my first month to the day. So yeah, I've settled in well now. Obviously, you miss the crack back at home with your mates and your family, but you understand you're doing something massive, and you're out here to make them proud and make your family proud. So and it's something I've dreamed of since I started watching American football about 4 years ago. So to say I'm playing D1 college football still doesn't feel quite real yet. So I know that they'll be there for me when I get back, but for the time being, I'm just going to enjoy it and savor all the moments that a lot of people back home don't have the chance to get.
Absolutely, and like it's been a really quick turnaround, as you say there. You've been there for a month now, so there was a short period of time between getting the offer and actually getting in there and getting settled in. I
Yeah.
mean, tell me about that whole process.
Yeah, it was a bit of a stressful situation. Obviously because I only started late, everything was kind of had to be fast tracked. So just getting through immigration and all, getting the visa sorted out for getting over here was it wasn't fun. So had to get all that sorted. Got my I-20 form and all from the college. So basically, just as soon as you book your visa appointment, get it approved, get the visa onto your passport. Basically from that moment on, I was gung ho for getting out and getting out practicing with the team, getting a couple of reps in for the first game against Nevada there. That was on September 1st. So yeah, fast tracked it, but during the period that I wasn't able to get out, I was training flat out with tag later, so
Mm.
I got myself in the best condition possible to go out there and just help the team in any way I can. While I wasn't able to perform exactly in Troy at that moment in time.
It's definitely been a bit of a whirlwind, Paddy. But let's go back to the beginning. What was how did this incredible journey come around? What was the inspiration for undertaking this journey, and how did you manage to achieve it in such a short period of time?
Yeah, so I saw it about a year ago. I just kind of saw it on Instagram. I didn't really look into detail in it with obviously Ross and Ronan getting over. I think they were the first batch of Irish lads to get
Mm.
over as part of the leader kicking program with Tig and Tyler and all that leader kicking. So it kind of became more real when there was more media attention on it, obviously with the APP guys, with Charlie, Rory and Mark and Dara. So I went to the same college as Charlie. So
Mm.
I saw what he was doing through leader kick and some of the kickouts he was hitting and all. The distance he was getting on was remarkable. And because I was a Gaelic football goalkeeper as well, I thought
Mm.
I'd go down and give it a shot to see if I was able to possibly just further my distance with kickouts and become a better Gaelic football player. But obviously, I got down. I wanted to start off the leader kicking earlier than I did, but I broke my toe in January, so I kind of delayed the start of it. But I got there in April and performed well in the first couple of trials, and then started doing private lessons with Tag, and the more I improved, the more I learned from Charlie and Tag, and just his expertise on it. The more it became like something that I could possibly do. So uh, started doing more so private sessions. Got really into it. Kind of committed wholeheartedly to it. Went down to Limerick, went down to Mullingar, all over the country, really practicing. And then we went out to a trial in Ohio, me and another couple of Irish guys, and a Spaniard, Bruno Kincaid. He's with Missouri Valley now. over in the middle of America. So we went out there. I impressed at it, and one of the Troy guys saw me at it, and he was happy with it. So got the offer there, and then kind of from that, it was just kind of getting everything sorted out, the paperwork
Yeah.
and all them fine details.
I mean, you talked there about your GAA background, Paddy. I mean, you only started kicking an American football last year, not like last March, like not even last year, like
Yeah, in April there. Yeah, it was cool.
April of this year
Yeah,
exactly, and now you're at a D1 university playing for their football team. I mean,
yeah.
it's absolutely mental, but like there has to be some sort of transferable skills between the GEA and then the kicking the American football.
Yeah, definitely. So Gaelic football, because I was a goalkeeper, kickouts is such a huge part of the sport. You have to learn how to basically just
Yeah,
kick the ball far, the good mechanics, kick it accurately, and all that. And that did go hand in hand. Saying that, there was a lot to learn from American football. Obviously, a different shaped ball, and then the op times, the operation times, and all are a lot shorter. So you have to try get as much power into the ball in a shorter space of time. But obviously, now that I'm handling kickoffs, you don't have that sort of time constraint on you, so
mm.
it works out well. So fighting the routine for that, get fighting your steps, getting into the ball and getting the most power into the ball, and then obviously accurately driving it downfield without it going out of bounds was a challenge at the start. But obviously, the more you practice it, the more you become consistent with it, and hopefully, long may it continue. Just keep banging it into the end zone, keep the coaches happy.
Obviously, with the compounded or compressed time from getting the offer and getting on campus and getting part of the program, you've been kind of confined so far to the big kickoffs, which is still a fantastic achievement. But do you see your role advancing it and eventually being responsible for extra points and field goals as well?
The kicker we have right now is he's amazing. So he is Scott. He's helped me a lot. So obviously I know how raw I am in terms of field goals
Mm.
and consistency hitting them. So I still have a lot to learn. And then obviously he's been here the last 3 years, and he hasn't stepped the foot wrong. You know what I mean? We've won 2 Sunbelt championships with him. We've got to 2 bowl games with Scott as our kicker. So I'm just trying to learn as much as I can from him. And obviously I'm taking any tips and advice because he's been doing it a lot longer than I have. And he's brilliant at them. So he has the accuracy, the consistency, and then his up times and all. You know what I mean? I'd have a slow up time, so I'm still learning every day, asking him questions. You know what I mean, and trying to learn more and more from him. And then hopefully down the line, maybe in a couple of, I don't know how long. We'll see how I get on with it. But hopefully, yeah, you never know.
I mean, but you're really in an ideal situation there.
Yeah,
You have your scholarship and you have a mentor now to learn from, and there's a bit, I suppose a bit of less pressure on you.
yeah,
You can kind of ease yourself into the game. Um, you mentioned there, Paddy, previously that you've been watching American football for years now, and this has been your dream. I mean, it just must be absolutely incredible to be running out into the home stadium under lights with all that noise and all that atmosphere. Do you have to pinch yourself and kind of go, how did I end up here?
yeah. It still feels a bit surreal, so it does. But once you get out on the field, my mentality is you have to go out there and do your job. So obviously you're enjoying it and all in the pre-game and the fans and all. But when you get out there, you'll enjoy it, but you can't let it take away from your performance or get too involved in the external factors of it. So like it's sort of after the game, you're like, I'm playing college football here, and you see the fans and all screaming and high fiving you and all. It's unbelievable. But as I say, when you're on the pitch, you just have the job to do. You have a job to do. Do that to the best of your ability and enjoy all the external factors after the game and during breaks when you're probably not on the field. So yeah, it's phenomenal, especially after a win. It's the atmosphere is something else. I've never seen anything like it in my life, and hopefully long may it continue.
I mean, talk to me about your first game. I mean, was your head just spinning, or were you more focused and locked in and said, right, I can enjoy this, but I have a job to do here.
Yeah, funny enough, in my first game, I was expecting nerves, but the fact I had a good couple of practices before that with the team, got settled in, met all the special teams players, and had a good chemistry with them from the very start. That was thanks to them and Coach Tucker as well for making me feel at home here, which is obviously it was a far distance away, but
Mm.
I understand when I get out there, I have a job to do. They've signed me, they've took me over from Ireland for my job. So when I got out there, I was really happy with how mentally prepared I was. It's getting out there. The first kickoff I had, it went a wee bit short. I went to only about -3, so their returner took it out, and he returned it for about 40 yards. So I was like, oh jeez, this couldn't have got off to much worse of a start. But got it settled in. Then I hit the second kickoff to start the second half against Nevada. Hit a really good one, and just it was a feeling of euphoria. You know what I mean? Getting out
Yeah.
there, doing it on an American football field in front of fans. It was like that's kind of when it hit that I was playing Division 1 college football, and that I was capable of playing at that level.
And I believe you actually had a tackle in the game against Iowa as
Yeah,
well on special teams. I mean, talk to me about that. You have an actual statistic as a
yeah,
tackle in the game. So
yeah.
how did that come about?
Yeah, I was saying the coach, our long snapper, ideally, I wouldn't have had the tackle, you know what I mean, if it was hitting it just into the back of the end zone. But yeah, as I say, it was the same sort of against Nevada. I hit it a wee bit short, only went about -3 or -4 in the end zone, and their returner, he's phenomenal, so he is. So I was still learning when I first got here that after a kickoff, you kind of have to stay in line with the hashes, stay in the middle, and kind of judge if they are going to bring it out, what way to go. So I saw him coming out, and I saw him coming his right, my left, so kind of fast paced towards it, and then obviously because he's such a skilled receiver, I was ready for him to stutter step, so I kind of laid off, showed him down his end line, and then saw him trying to get past. And obviously, I don't play rugby, but I kind of had a rugby tackle on him, just got him by the waist, and just took him down to the ground. Had to get a stop on, yeah. So I was happy with it, and then I saw that I saw on the ESPN that I have a first career tackle, so it's a cool stat to have for definitely for a kickoff specialist.
Absolutely. I mean, I've been trying to find footage of it online on YouTube. It's extremely hard to find. So if
Yeah,
you can send me on the clip afterwards,
yeah,
I'd love to see it. Um, were you looking at your background, um, Paddy, being with the intercounty GEA and as a goalkeeper there with
yeah.
Armagh GEA? Would you say that being previously part of a high performance background has prepared you for stepping into a similarly high pressure environment with a D1 college football team? I mean, are there any similarities between how you prepare yourself or being part of that kind of setup?
Yeah, definitely. I've grew a lot in terms of my mental preparation before a game. Since I started Armagh, and that's probably thanks to being in that high level environment at a
Mm.
young age. But yeah, you know yourself the commitment that's needed to play at a high level of any sport. You know, you kind of have to just put everything on hold and perform to your best of your ability, and just day in day out, you just have to keep getting better, 1% better, 0.5% better, as long as you're just on a trajectory of continuing to get better. That's one thing I learned at Armagh that I've brought over here as well. But even with club and all, you just I took that mentality there and just went out there every day, trusted myself and my abilities, and just went and performed to the best at Gaelic football, and then kind of took over the same mentality here. Just sometimes you just have to say to yourself, like, I'm over here for a reason. I can hit the ball far, and just get out there and just do what you can do. You know what I mean? And mentally, you just have to remember there's no point in being nervous. It's out of your control. You know what I mean? Just you're out there. You have a purpose. You're on the team for a reason. And it was the same when I was playing Gaelic football with my club as well. It was one of them things. You just have to go out there and just do the best of your ability. You know what I mean?
It must take a serious amount of self belief and self confidence to step onto that field, knowing that your job is to boot the ball as far as you can
Yeah.
down the pitch. I mean, talk to me about what goes through your mind as you're stepping on. And obviously, you've only been in 4 games now, so it must be all very new to you. But what's your kind of thought process as you're walking onto the field to boot the ball down?
Yeah, so basically, for one of the first things I learned when I went down to my first kicking session with tag was kind of the sweet spot in the ball. So
Mm.
most people would think it'd be the middle of the ball. So if you can imagine the ball there, it's only about a third up, so it's about there. So what I kind of do is I just kind of focus on that there point to just take my normal steps back, normal routine, get my steps back, sort of do this thing where I fix my pads. I don't know. It's kind of I don't know if it's a
You're into
professional.
you're into the groove now. You have your own little kind of routine already
Yeah,
after 4 games.
yeah, and then take a breath, cadence the boys, just make sure they're ready for the kickoff, and then just really focus on that there sweet spot in the ball that you
Mm.
want to connect well with, and just focus on that. Do your normal steps up, and just kick it, follow through, and then usually the rest looks after itself. Yeah, but as I say, it's a lot to learn, but that's all. That's all you can focus on. When I was back home practicing, Charlie was home for a while, and he was telling me that when he was at a kicking camp, the coach told him there should only be two thought processes. So kind of implemented that into my game. Just focus on where you want to connect with the ball, kick it and follow through where you want the ball to go, and usually that's where it ends up. So yeah, so I'm happy enough with how I'm getting on so far. And then obviously you can still learn every day that you're going out. So I will learn more as I go on, but at the moment, yeah, I'm just happy with what I'm doing so far and the connections and the routine that I have.
How has that relationship with Charlie helped you grow as a player and even seeing him achieve the success that he has in such a short space of time and being able to work with him, and obviously he's with the Saints in an NFL environment, so I mean that must have been hugely beneficial to you going into that situation.
Yeah, definitely. Charlie was the one who kind of made it seem like it was a possible reality. Obviously, I saw Charlie, the talent he had was phenomenal, as shown he's in the NFL now, you know what I mean? But the fact I went to the same college out of him, I was like, as him, I was like, if Charlie's going for it, I may as well give it a shot. Nothing to lose, everything to gain from it. Went down, as I say, only to see if I could improve my Gaelic football kick out with it. And the more real it became for Charlie, I was like, this is a dream of mine. You know what I mean? Like, if I commit to this, I think it can happen. And yeah, I've been staying in contact with him. You know what I mean? When he was home, I was learning wee pieces of advice from him.
Mm.
Still texting him just for any wee ideas to help me improve my field goals, as I say. So yeah, no, he's been phenomenal. So he has, and then seeing what he's doing, he's inspired the whole, basically the island of Ireland. So if I'm able to do that for my village and hopefully the whole country as well, I call that a success for me as well. So obviously you're going out there to perform well, but at the same time, you're going out there to do it for yourself and your family as well.
Mm. And seeing how quickly Charlie went from, nothing really to never having kicked a ball to now playing in the NFL, and of course you're only at the very, very beginning of your journey, so
Yeah.
you're taking it one day at a time, obviously, but you've had that dream of playing in the NFL before. I mean, is that something now that you're way down the line you're looking at?
Yeah, ideally, like even to say it would be surreal because like I remember I was at my mate's birthday party up in Tyrone and it was that night we were in bed. Charlie hit the field goal against the Cardinals to win it, and I was like to my mate, he's from Mayo Bridge, like
Yeah.
it was crazy, so it was to even think of at the time. But yeah, ideally, yeah, as you say, just focus on one day at a time, keep
Mm.
getting 1% better, and then hopefully the more reps you get, the more practice you get, the more consistent I become in just every aspect of my game, and try eliminate any weaknesses as if possible, because obviously to get into the NFL is probably the toughest sport to get into in the world, and just you basically have to be perfect. But I know myself with the mentality and the work ethic I have, it's definitely something that'll be a dream of mine, but I've a lot of work to do before then. But yeah, ideally, it'll be phenomenal.
And just, I mean, awareness of American football in Ireland and the NFL, I mean, has just taken off massively in the past 6 months with the likes of yourself going over, the likes of Jack Scullion going over, the latest crop of Irish college football kickers, and obviously with Charlie as well. I mean, do you think now that there's, with this awareness and with this growth in the interest in the sport in Ireland, that we're going to have more and more lads like yourselves getting this opportunity to go and kick at a high level in America?
Yeah, that's the goal. Obviously, my coach back home, Tag, said to me, "This is only the start." You know what I mean? We're the ones that showing that it is a possibility. So the more people are, the more media attention probably comes on to the Irish kickers in Ireland back home. The more people see it from back home and say, "I might give it a shot," and then obviously they go down to a couple of sessions in press and just commit wholeheartedly to Tag and his whole
Mm.
operation. You never know what can happen. You know what I mean? I didn't think it was a possibility until probably about the end of May this year. You know what I mean? When it became real, and then obviously when you get out to Ohio, get kicking there, and it was like this could happen. You know what I mean? Then getting out and just performing well and seeing what Jack's doing. I think he was playing in Virginia Tech yesterday, and as well, like even a year ago, I was watching their videos on TikTok, and you're like, it'd be unbelievable to play in that, but you didn't actually think it'd be a possibility. But that's credit to Tig and Leader Kicking for making it a possibility. You know what I mean? And as I said, this is only the start, and we're only the first sort of crop of Irish kickers to come through, and this is going to be something that's going to be going on down the line. As you've seen with the Australian punters, they're kind of taking over college football,
Mm.
and even the NFL now. For the likes of Tory Taylor, who was the Iowa punter last year, I think he's with the Bears now. He was a product of international kicking program down in Australia, and you've seen how he was able to play
Yeah.
college football last year. He was recognised all over the country. So I do think that's going to be something that's not even a possibility, a reality in a couple of years for leader kicking and Irish athletes, because obviously the fact we play Gaelic football from a young age, we have that sort of natural ability to kick a ball far. And as I say, yeah, I think this is only the start. So I'm happy that we're able, me, Jack and Sean, Ross and Roland, the guys, and even Charlie, are able to inspire the younger crop of Irish lads coming through and show them that it is a possibility if you commit to it, and it's not something that's just a far-fetched dream.
And for any aspiring college football kickers out there like yourself and like Ross and like everyone who's kind of gone through this process and is maybe watching this and is thinking about giving it a go, I mean, what would you say to them? What kind of advice would you have for them?
Yeah, definitely. It's just nothing to lose and everything to gain. Like this time last year, I'd probably be watching college football on some streaming app or something. You know what I mean? And I didn't think this time next year. Like sometimes when your Snapchat memories pop up and you're playing Gaelic football or you're out for coffee with your mates, you're like, if I thought a year ago I was in America playing American football and from 40 odd thousand, even 70,000 last week against Iowa, you'd pinch yourself and you'd be like, "I'll get away." You're joking, like, you know what I mean? So it's something that's just the more like every day, you're just enjoying it more. You know what I mean? It's not something you're going to take for granted because obviously there's not a lot of guys in your position in America or in Ireland. So it's something that I'm enjoying every day, and just I'm enjoying watching the rest of the Irish lads out there performing to the best of their ability, and I know they're doing the whole of Ireland proud, and hopefully I'm going to try to do the same for as long as I'm playing out here.
It's fantastic to watch your journey, Paddy, and the rest of the lads as well. I mean, we're all back home. We're all rooting hard for you to succeed and to get the best out of this. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like you say, it's do it for you. You know, don't do it for anyone else. I mean, get as much as you can out of it,
Yeah,
um, and get as far as you can with the opportunity you've
yeah,
been presented with. I've one last question for you, Paddy, before I let
yeah.
you go, and I really do appreciate your time. And I'm sure, if we had spoken before you went on this journey, your answer might be a little bit different. But having now played in 4 big time college football games, I'll be interested to see if this affects what you're going to say. But I'd love to know what your favorite sporting memory is.
Yeah, that's a good question.
That's why I save it
Last
for the end. It
yeah,
always stumps everyone.
last night would be good. So last night would be up there for definite. So it would, but it's that's a good question. I remember winning an under 16 championship with my club in Mullavan. With a load of my childhood friends who went to primary school and all, but that would be up there for that. And then parents and all really proud of you. That was probably my first big win, and then I've a couple of the McCrory semi final with the school. That was cool as well. But obviously it was February 2020, so the McCrory final didn't get played. So looking back, that'll be another sporting memory that
Mm.
I really cherish, and that was one that I was really proud of. And then, as I said last night, but then against Memphis, we lost ultimately, but John Morant was at the game. He's one of the NBA's biggest stars.
Yeah, yeah.
Just being able to see him like in person, you're like, oh my god, like I'm from Mullavan here, and I'm beside John Morant. Like it was unbelievable. You know what I mean? So as I say, it's just something that's kind of surreal. But when I get onto the field, you just have to go out there and just perform to the best of your ability, and then obviously, hopefully, get the rest of the Irish lads inspired who want to
Mm.
have a go at it as well, and just inspire the younger generation. That's what it's about ultimately.
Well, listen, Paddy, the very, very best of luck for the rest of the season. We're all rooting here for Troy
Appreciate that, Tim.
Trojans. We have so many college teams now that we're all fans of back here with all the Irish lads. It's hard to
Yeah,
keep track.
I
But
appreciate
listen,
it.
really appreciate your coming on, Paddy,
No,
and all the best for the rest of the season.
thank you very much, Jimmy. Pleasure talking to you.